Hey guys, I'm back. Welcome to another video for the Not2Shabby shop. By now, most of you have seen the hop videos. So this, not including that one, this is my first of 3 more videos for the month showcasing these adorable stamp sets for the spring summer release. So I didn't stick to one stamp set per video, so there's a little bit of jumping around, but I was having fun. So right now we're going to use the Spring is in the Air stamp set, and I'm just doing some, I forgot what this is called, ink smushing with some Salty Ocean Distress Oxide ink. And I just went back and forth with that panel until I was happy with it. Now I used my wonky stitch rectangle die from Simon Says Stamp, and my purple tape, even though I've used it many times before this die, stuck to my watercolor paper. So if you can see, there's 2 small rips, even though I was careful. So I'm not going to do it all over again, so we're just going to try to cover those up. So first I'm going to take that adorable little flower watering can with the flowers in it, and I'm going to stick that in the upper left-hand corner and poke a hole through my watercolor cardstock and use a tiny little bright blue brad to attach that to the card so that my watering can moves back and forth. And it's not, not necessary for the card, but I just thought it was cute. Then I'm going to put some foam tape, double-sided foam tape on the back of this panel, straighten it out a little bit. Excuse me. And we're going to glue that flat down to our card base because it got a little warped with all the drying and the water. And then I have these 2 cute little bunnies. And I did a mirror image stamping right there on that silicone mat that I'm using, and it took a couple times. I pushed too hard the one time and it slid the second time, but the third time was a charm. And I just touched it up with a black Sharpie for anything that was kind of missing a little bit of detail, but it wasn't missing a lot. And put a whole bunch of flowers down at the bottom where they're walking. And this watering can is going to be pouring out flowers. And after I attach these bunnies down where I want them, I'm also going to decide that it needs some clouds and some raindrops. So one of the cards I did last month, it wasn't a tutorial card, but I did show you at the end of a video, used the Rainy Circle die by MFT. And I saved all the little tiny raindrops that it cut out. So that's what I'm going to use as my rain on this panel. So I took 2 of the clouds that I had cut out for another card, and I put those up in the right hand corner there, and one of them is going to have the sentiment on it. And I'm pretty sure the sentiment I use is Spring is in the Air. And I just stamped that out with Suede Shoes, the Catherine Pooler ink, and heat embossed some clear embossing powder over that. And popped that cloud up with some foam tape. The first cloud's flat to the panel. The second one's popped up with some foam tape. And now I'm just going to use some crystal glaze for the raindrops. And Jamie has crystal glaze in her shop, so I like to use the crystal glaze. Crystal glaze I like because it comes out fast. But when I need it to stay on something, I tend to go with glossy accents because it stays where you pour it. And I know I've moved on already, but I put glossy accents on the umbrellas and their little rain boots, and then that card was finished. Now, I don't know if you noticed, but I used the macaroon. I always say macaroon, but I was told I was wrong. I turned it into a hamburger. Now, you can't give me too much credit. This was Riley's idea. So this idea came from a 6-year-old, and I basically stole it with her permission. So I colored the top and bottom as a bun. I used a darker marker to put the little sesame seeds on. And then I just went with how it was pictured. The first layer was lettuce. The second layer I split by making part of it tomato and part of it cheese. And the bottom layer was hamburger. And I just stamped those all over my card panel and colored them in. So I used this little Pink and Maine scallop circle die. And I cut out a small white circle, and I cut out that little bird from the Picnic Fun set, And she's normally, I showed you, carrying a pie. But I gave her a hamburger instead, and I cut her little wings off, her hands, and then just glued them back on where they would have been had she been carrying the hamburger instead. And I think she turned out so cute. I'm so happy with this card. Even though it's simple, I really thought it was fun to make. So while that dries, I'm just going to put some tea-dyed Distress Oxide around the edge of this scallop circle because the white kind of got lost on the panel. And then we're going to put our little bird centered right in the middle of that. And then for the sentiment, we're going to use the Sentiment Picnic Fun. And we are going to heat emboss that with some, it took me a few tries to get this. I used the hot chocolate Nouveau embossing powder. But the first 2 times I stamped it, I must have pushed way too hard because look at that. You can see it, but then if you look at it from a different angle, it looks like it's got a big blotch in the middle of the sentiment. So the 3rd time was a charm. I stamped that out, and I'll show you what I do with that in a minute. But here I'm using foam tape to pop up that scallop circle and some glue to make sure it stays put. And while that dries, I'm just cutting the sentiment out kind of wonky. I tend to do that with chunky sentiments. I just think it has a fun look, and I don't have to worry about a dye. And I'm just using my regular tea dye Distress ink to go around the edge of that because the white will get lost on the panel. So the bird is also popped up with some thin foam tape, and I'm going to put some glue on that as well. Nouveau Deluxe adhesive, and I also put foam tape on the sentiment. And that's it for this card. I am going to adhere the whole panel with art glitter glue to a craft card base. And I think that just ties it all in. And that's it, guys. And that's it for this video. I hope you guys are enjoying all the inspiration from the other design team members. If you aren't following them, you should really go to one of the Hop videos, follow everybody in the Hop, and check out all their creations. There's some really cool cards out there. I can't wait to see how many cards everybody came up with by the end of the month. So that's it. I'll see you in the next video. You guys stay tuned for more. And have a safe, happy week. Bye-bye for now, guys.